Hello, Star Wars Galaxy Hero players. This is Andy Shorto, and today I'm going to be doing another What If scenario, or a What If Factions rework, or just a What If Faction pass, I should say. And this is going to be the Jedi rework. This is going to be part one of, and some Jedi that need some rework here and there. I'm going to do kind of my suggestion / prediction, and hope something, changes. So I'm going to go through each one, and we'll go from there. First one, excuse me, is Luminara Unduli. She's an attacker that has an amazing healing ability. I would say this healing ability is way better than Jedi Consular's healing ability. But for the most part, yeah, it's a great healing ability. She has some decent attack, but she still lacks on damage. So really, a few things that comes to mind is, one, she's the Jedi Master of none other than Barriss Offee. I totally passed it. Barriss Offee. And Barriss Offee is probably regarded as the best healer in the game from Jedi, for the most part. And she cleanses, she heals, and she has a Zeta that's a super amazing Zeta. Whenever an ally is critically hit, they recover 20% health. That's her Zeta. Oh, it's 2% health. That's just Omega. So I want to know, the thing is that I know the developers just created it as they created it, but one of the things I could see is an improvement to Luminara Unduli. One improvement I would change would be her attacker class to make it as a healer class, because her damage is set more towards healing. That would be the thing. Also, well, not that Force Blast. Force healing equal to Luminara's health, which means healing could also make it to where she could actually change her, keep the same amount of damage that she deals and just heals even more, where she gets a little more health and she can actually heal more. That's one way to go with her. Her basic doesn't really do much other than has a 50% chance to gain evasion up for 2 turns. Maybe she gains evasion up for 2 turns, and then a 50% chance to grant 2 random Jedi, a random Jedi ally and a random non-Jedi ally on your team evasion up, or something of that nature to improve that ability. Force Blast, ability block for 1 turn is awesome. Maybe even have it to where it can't be resisted. That would make her a little more useful. Healing is great. Like, outside of, going around healing immunity and shock, this healing ability has been really great. Like, I would say new players pick her up, farm her. I would say I always used her more than Jedi Consular. By far, I used her more than Jedi Consular, just because she has a higher percent of healing, plus the heal over time. They call it additional health, but it's heal over time ability for 2 turns. Then what she grants, that really helps the healing factor in the next 2 turns, which is why I really liked her. And she did, a lot better damage than Jedi Consular. And then they got to do something with this. They got to do something similar to where they can, maybe, I don't know, improve her Zeta. Just rework her Zeta to do something kind of similar to Barriss, but not like Barriss. So, she needs a rework. I've already covered Kanan and Ezra. Like, Ezra's great already. Kanan and Ezra, they may need a little tweaking here and there for their uniques that are not Zetaed, or, maybe maxed out to be an Omega'd. But I talked about those 2 in my Phoenix rework videos, so you can look them up. Jedi Consular, he's okay. He doesn't need a lot of rework. Maybe a little bit of boost to damage with some of his abilities, but outside of that, he's a healer. What do you expect? He's not going to be doing much. And he's also not a popular choice. Granted, yes, you still want at least 7-star, level 85 him for his ship. And you could technically gear him to at least gear 9 or 10, just so his ship is very viable if you're using it. Barriss Offee and Qui-Gon Jinn, they don't need reworks. They're great. Well, other than some could argue that he could do a little more damage, similar to Ezra. But outside of that, he's great. There's Zeta, Qui-Gon Jinn teams and Barris teams, so no need to change there. Ahsoka Tano may need a little rework. Her daring Padawan could be Zeta'd. She could do something else, and maybe even grant some of this to Jedi Knight Anakin if he's present. I don't know, something of that nature to make it where Ahsoka Tano is a little better. Yoda, he is Zeta's. He's fine. He could maybe use a rework. One of the two characters I really want to talk about, though, in this one is Mace Windu and Jedi Knight Anakin. Both of them, I personally say, because, you know, if you really go into, especially into Legends, and talk about their, you know, how their, you know, styles are in Jedi philosophy, etc. You know, they could have an ability. I've talked about this in other videos, where they can have an ability in their, you know, their uniques, to where anytime someone deals combat damage to them, or it deals damage to them, it doesn't double it because they're a Jedi. So it makes it seem like they're not a Jedi. So, like, say Darth Maul's basic does a lot of damage to Jedi, or is unique, one of the two. It does like double damage to Jedi or something like that. That effect, which actually could also go into Yoda as well, because he's the Grandmaster. So it would just be like 3 Jedi or so that would not be affected by anything that would have a chance to double or anything like that. So, like, anything that would actually get a bonus towards Jedi, Mace Windu does not count as a Jedi. Even though he's a Jedi, he still gets the buff boosts, but whenever an enemy is attacking him, they lose those bonuses against attacking Jedi. You know, so that way it just makes Mace Windu a little more survivable, for one. 2, he also needs to be changed from a tank to attacker. And, you know, he could be like similar to SWGOH, where he's a bulky attacker. He doesn't hit as hard as someone, you know, like Maul or like Han Solo or something like that. But still, you know, dishing out a decent amount of damage and being a very healthy attacker. So, you know, those are my thoughts on those. The next one is Old Ben. He doesn't need it, so I'm going to go about Jedi Knight Guardian. I don't think she'll ever be used, but if they do decide to do a rework on her, since she is a tank, she could use... Her chances need to go up for ability block, for one. She's like Omega'd out, so she just needs a slight rework to make her a little viable and on some random teams. Gundai, his leader ability, the defense, 30 defense. I think one thing I will say is they should do a defense faction pass, and where they change the leadership ability of all the characters that have not been changed yet, from like 30 defense to 30% defense, to actually improve them. But they didn't do that. Like, they did that with like Stormtrooper Han, something like that. But like Chewbacca's leader doesn't have that changed, you know. So this would actually make it a little better. Also, increasing the Jedi allies' crit counter chance to maybe like 45% would be fine. Give them a little more, you know, chance to do more damage, or I mean counter chance, because we already got like Gar Saxon and Commander Luke Skywalker. They have like they give their respective factions 50% chance to counter. So why not Jedi? Jedi could do that as well. I know, I will say General Kenobi kind of fills that niche on that type of a team because of giving retribution, but outside of that, it would be nice to have that ability for, you know, something like that. So yes, Gundai I could see as a rework. Plo Koon, like, I'm surprised he's not picking up, but then again, because R2-D2 is like running rampant with all the stealth throwing around. Darth Maul's not even a problem anymore. It's R2-D2. Woo! And so Overwatch is really, really making it, or will need a rework. They would really, really need a rework for sure. But yeah, Plo Koon in general just needs a rework to improve for, dealing with stealth attackers. He could be a counter to Darth Maul teams, a counter to R2-D2 teams, something like that. And even ones that actually like Princess Leia. So he could be a counter. General Kenobi, I'm sure they'll want to Zeta him in the future, but right now he does not need a rework. He's perfect as is. They made him, Chase, and Barrett, or Baze and Chirrut. Gee, I'm mixing those names up. They made him so good that they don't need a Zeta at this time. Probably when we go up 10 levels, they probably will need a rework by then. So Kit Fisto, he needs a slight rework, improve like tenacity and defense. There's another defense character, needs to be percentage, could go up to 65 or 75. All allies gain like 25% tenacity. He needs a little more than that. His unique has a 25% counter chance and 20% offense. He needs a better unique. Zeta for sure. Eth Koth, again, another character that I will admit, Jedi I've noticed has the most characters with the most leader abilities by far. Because they have the most characters in the game, but they also have the most characters with the most leader abilities. And I'm sure some of them maybe could be even turned into a unique, but outside of that, like this one, 60 defense, not 60%, 60 defense. So if he's a stalwart Jedi defender, why is he not giving it percentage-wise? That would change how he's ran. I could also say, if he's a stalwart defender, I could also say he could go up to like 70, 75% defense, and maybe adding 50% crit immunity, or not immunity, sorry, crit avoidance. Like 50% crit avoidance and, something else like max health and max protection goes up, and then other allies gain half these amounts as a Zeta ability or something, so he actually boosts or even him and clones or something like that. Jedi and clones, that could be another character that supports clones where he boosts them. But yeah, like I said, that's just that one. Anakin Skywalker I kind of talked about with Mace Windu. Also, maybe his Reckless Assault could also call Ahsoka in to assist. Or, Ahsoka's little spin attack special. What is it called? Protective Maneuver could also call Anakin in to assist. That would make, that's another thing with those two characters that would actually make them a little more viable. But he also needs a Zeta to boost him up a little bit. He's still really good, though. He is still used quite a bit. He is still really powerful, but he could still use a Zeta. He could still, be boosted in one way or another. But outside of that, like, maxed out, like he has 70% chance to give healing and buff immunity for 2 turns. That is really good for a Jedi Knight Anakin. And right now, we already got, like, a freaking Commander Luke Skywalker doing something similar. So, yeah. And then the last Jedi in the game, Aayla Secura, her leader ability could be boosted, like 40% tenacity. That could go up to 60% and then recover 15, maybe 20% of their max health. And then maybe even giving something else to boost, like some other stat boosts. And then, giving critical chance, a little more Zeta for Aayla would be great. So, but yeah, that is Jedi for you. I'm sorry, I took it off of the Jedi screen. That is the Jedi for you. A lot of them do need reworks by far. Maybe even Mace and Yoda could assist each other. I know that's kind of crazy, making multiple duos. But outside of that, like I said, the main ones I really want to cover is the fact of Master Yoda, Mace Windu, and Jedi Anakin, where they shouldn't have damage being dealt, or any bonuses against Jedi. That's kind of nullified. Those three characters, I would say, they would be the best against dark side. Well, Jedi Knight Anakin is because he falls to the dark side anyways a lot of the times, so he's kind of immune to the fact that, you know, Sith can't use their trickery against Anakin because a lot of the times it backfires. Mace Windu's, because of his Vapod style, he's very immune to the dark side, especially against Darth Sidious when he was fighting Darth Sidious. And then obviously Master Yoda, because he's the Grand Master and he's really a super strong Jedi. And I would say maybe even Hermit Yoda as well could also gain this, but they don't, if they decide to make that kind of a unique ability for certain characters. Maybe Hermit Yoda, maybe not, I don't know, but because he's always in stealth a lot of the times. But out of that, those three Jedi are what I think could actually have that kind of boost. So let me know what you guys think. Do you agree that Jedi do need a rework? I would say they do. Again, like I said, this is part 1. Part 2 is going to be talking about some Jedi. A quicker video talking about Jedi I would like to see, you know, be added in during this faction pass. But yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think. And you guys have a wonderful day.